Check. All right. I can hear me. I hope you can.
Are we audible at the back row? Yeah? Okay, here we go. Friends, I'm going to take you about 25 years back in time to the lovely shores of Cochin. I walk into my bedroom one evening and I see my mom packing my suitcase. She's almost finished packing it. Then she adds one small little parcel, very special. It's a bar of Jay soap. You're too young to have seen Jay soap in your life. And she looks at me and she winks. And she says, the tagline, my son, is the fragrance of first love. All the best. She zips the suitcase shut, gives me the suitcase, and I'm left in the room all alone. I was a little apprehensive about that trip due to several reasons. One, I was traveling for the first time alone. I was traveling for the first time in an aircraft. I was traveling for the first time outside the country for a workshop, an Asian Youth in Development workshop where I was representing the country and I was all of 19 years old. Can you believe it? And all my apprehensions vanished when I was sitting in that beautiful Air Lanka plane surrounded by beautiful Air Lankan hostesses. Imagine a 19-year-old salivating at that point. And the plane slowly touched down and the world parted for me. The most beautiful emerald islands that you'll see in your whole life. Golden sand, swaying palms. It was the biggest treat a 19-year-old could get. And in the next few days, I was at the workshop. This huge, lovely, beautiful place surrounded by trees and mountains. It was in a valley where two conferences were happening. Our conference, the Youth in Development Workshop of South Asia, and a workshop for young children from high school. And in the evening, we would all get together. There were Koreans, there were Malaysians, there were Singaporeans, Sri Lankans, Pakistanis, Indians. Music was bursting alive. And what did I love the most? You guys heard of the Baila from Sri Lanka? I'm sure you would have heard Surangani at least. Yes. Baila.
Kirikala, Mavapatapova, Papuridarva, Igasparaviva, Rakahava, the Bimavida Hune, Adinda, Pavadane, Patakayane, Egarnala Villa, Odawaputilla, Patakayane, Egarnala Villa.
So I made friends with all kinds of people of all colors. It was so beautiful. But nothing is ever as special as those two pairs, one pair of eyes connecting with yours across the dance floor. I still remember the band was playing Carpenters. Can you guess which one? Top of the World. Yes, Top of the World. And it was like the Red Sea parting and this girl walked towards me. Our eyes are locked together like this. And she shakes my hand and she says, I'm Sangeeta Sundaram from Jaffna. And her hand stayed locked for a long time. And her heart stayed locked for a long time after that. Friends, if you are ever in Sri Lanka, whatever age you are likely to fall in love the first instant that you land. And I had everything going for me. We had everything going for us. The wind, the breeze, the sunshine, the moonlight, everything that is part of a beautiful love story, and fall in love we did. We started spending all the time together, even bunking the convention sometimes. And one night at 2 o'clock, I heard this knock on my door. I was half asleep, I opened the door and she was standing there. And she took my hand and she said, I'm going to take you to a place where nobody at the convention is going to see. And we climbed a mountain, we came to a small little valley where there was this little emerald pool. And she said, just jump and don't think about anything. Off went our t-shirts, off went our jeans, and both of us just jumped plop into that pool. And from the corner of my eye, I could see something falling out from my jeans pocket. What was it? It was that pack of gesso, the fragrance of first love. That was the most magical evening in my life. Okay? With somebody that I loved so much, and the moonlight, and the palm trees playing shadows in the background, and the fragrance of gesso. But like they say, all good things come to an end. In about 7 days, we were about to part ways. And we had that tight last hug and that last lingering kiss. And when we said a tearful goodbye, and I packed everything back in my suitcase, including my passport. Please take a look. You'll actually see that I had hair in those days. So we slowly started going back. I sat in the plane thinking about the love that I just left behind.
With her first hello, she gave a meaning to this empty world of mine. There'll never be another love, another time. She came into my life and made the living fine. She fills my heart. She fills my heart with very special things, with angel songs and light imaginings. She fills my soul with so much love that anywhere I go, I'm never lonely with her alone. Who could be lonely? I'll reach for her hand. It's always there.
I slowly boarded the aircraft at Colombo Airport. When I looked back, I saw for the last time the landscape that I loved so much. And Sri Lanka is the most welcoming country in this world. In 1982, wherever you look around, you see people smiling. They all come to you and say Aibowan, which means have a long life. Even the cops, the army men, everyone smiles and says Aibowan. I took one last look. I turned back and from the top of the stairs of the plane, took back one look. And in about an hour, I was back in Cochin, back to ground zero. In a few days, the letters started coming back and forth. You can imagine those days, no WhatsApp, handwritten letters, but with the imprint of lipstick on every page. Yeah, and I used to show those to my mom because she was also my best friend. And after a certain time, the letters started getting more and more serious. At one time, she started asking me, what are we going to do? Will you be coming to Sri Lanka or should I come to India? That's when the alarm bells rang in my mother's head. She said, I'm going to dictate a letter to you and you're going to post it to her. And she said, listen, we are just children. I'm quoting her, she said, we are just children. We're never going to get another set of parents. We may get 100 sets of lovers in our life. Imagine mothers, right? So I wrote that letter, I folded it and I posted it and I waited with bated breath for her reply to come. I was getting prepared for the most guilt-inducing letter of my lifetime. And yes, finally it did arrive after a week. I'm sitting there with my mom, I'm opening the letter with trembling hands. And believe me, my dear friends, it was the most forgiving, positive, reinforcing letter that I got. She said, I fully understand. I'm heartbroken, but I don't want you to be heartbroken by making you feel guilty. I understand that your parents do not like it. I accept that we are still children. So have a good life. I cried so much that day. But one thing that I still remember from that letter was the last line. It said, don't give advice after giving hope. And as luck would have it, I was back in the island the very next year. In the very next year, 1983, the riots had started. It was threatening to become a full-blown war. In July, I was there for another workshop. And I managed to get back to India almost when my tail caught fire. It was so bad. I could hear the grenades going off in the distance. The Ayubovans had vanished. Every cop on the road had a submachine gun and a walkie-talkie. And they had started hating Indians. I somehow came back to India, but not before posting a letter to Sangeeta. 3/1, Thomas Street, Jaffna. Posted that letter, came back home. In 4 days flat, I got her reply. And what had she written? She said, you won't believe it, I was in Colombo when you were there. My family has been shattered, we have no possessions left. I spent a whole week in a refugee camp. Every day in tears, no sleep, no food, no medication. And every night when I was there, I had to endure what no girl should endure in her lifetime. It has left permanent scars on me physically and mentally. I told my dad I'm going. He didn't even try to stop me. I ran, I hitchhiked, I took a bus, I took a train, I took whatever I could to reach Dhanushkodi. And I realized that there was no transportation available to go to Sri Lanka. Now boats were running. But finally I managed to bribe a fisherman who was smuggling arms across to the island, across the Park Straits. I'm standing there on the deck of the boat, swaying like a madman, seasick to the core, throwing up over the sides. And the only thing that had kept my hope alive was her face. And I see the lights on the island, I can see the flares, I can see the bursts of the bombs, of the grenades. I can hear sounds from far away. Then there is this huge blinding light coming into my eyes and I pass out. When I open my eyes, I'm lying in a white metal bed in an army hospital in Dhanushkodi. There's this nurse hovering over me and she's saying, you're lucky to be alive. So many decades have passed after that. So many decades. But even now, when I wake up some mornings, I remember two things. One is Sangeeta, 4/2, Thomas Street, Jaffna. And the other one is, don't give advice after giving hope. So what happens in the crossfire of war made by men? What happens to women? What happens to people who are still in their teens and still have dreams? Don't we all wonder, where have all the flowers gone?
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls took them, everyone. When will they ever love? When will they ever love? Where have all the young girls youngles gone. Long time passing, where have all the youngles gone? Long time ago, where have all the youngles gone? Gone to soldiers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing, where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago, where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing, where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago, where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Thank you.